Hello everyone, this is Mr. Navratil. We are going to be going over our final part for our Autodesk Inventor series. It's number 7, and it's called the Challenging Pyramid. This is the drawing of it. We can see our front, our side, top, and isometric view. You can see right off the bat that it's very similar to one of the parts we had created before called the house block. The only thing that's missing is the bottom portion around the edge, and there's also an added cut made on this section here. You can see it's hollow. So let's go ahead and get started with the overall dimensions. We can see our length is 4.5 and our height is 2.5. So I'll make a sketch on the XY plane. Rectangle tool. And from here I can dimension this as 4.5 and the height is 2.5. I'm all set. I'm going to go ahead and extrude. We can determine the depth looking at this side here. So we have 0.88 and 0.88, which I believe gives us 1.76 as our depth. 1.76. And I'll hit OK. From here, just like the house block, we're going to make 2 triangular extrusion cuts from the side over. And I'm going to use my line tool to go from the bottom all the way to the top. If you do this correctly, you don't have to dimension anything. That green dot on the top there is constraining in the middle for us, and we know these come all the way down to the edge. So I'll hit finish, extrude, and I'll hit both of those at the same time, and we're going to want to cut the full 4.5 inches all the way across. Now from here, we want to make 2 triangular cuts that go from this side perpendicular to the bottom all the way across. For our house block, we had a flat surface to draw on the bottom. I'm going to be going over a new tool. It's called the plane tool. This allows you to create an imaginary surface to do sketching on and ultimately extrusions. So if we come up here to the top and hit plane, we're going to want to hit the bottom button actually. That gives us a bunch of different options. These are essentially all of the different ways you can get imaginary planes onto the sketch so you're able to draw on it. The one that we're going to want to do is the angle to plane around edge. So if you click there, the first step is to find the edge we want to get the plane around, and it would be this one. From here, we want to get it around the bottom portion of this part. So if I click there, now it's giving me an option to change the degrees on which we'd like this plane to be from the bottom. It's actually already by default set up exactly the way that we'd like. We'd like this plane to be 90 degrees from the side and the bottom here. So we'll hit OK. Now it has this work plane for us to work on. You have to be really careful because we want to make a new sketch on the work plane. We don't want to make a sketch anywhere on the object. It's not going to help us. So if you hover over the work plane and you right click, you can hit new sketch. Just like the house block, we need to make sure that this line, this part of, we want it onto our sketch plane. So we're going to go ahead and use the project geometry, and if we look at our isometric view, you can see that it projected those lines onto where we're going to be drawing. I'll go back to the front view here. Use the line tool. I know I want to select down here, and the triangular cuts are going to come up to the top. This time we do have to in fact create a dimension. So looking at our drawing, we know that they are 1.25 away from the side there. So if I hit dimension, the top and the side is going to be 1.25. I just want to make sure that this line got all the way. Looks like it did. So from the side to this point is also 1.25. I can go ahead and finish, and we're going to extrude this profile and this profile without adding material. We're going to go ahead and cut. And we'd only like to cut a distance of, going back to our drawing as a reference, 1.76. 1.76. You can see that the red is actually going in the opposite direction. If this ever happens to you, there is an option to change the direction. So if we come over here to direction 1, that's going to go ahead and give us that house block look on the top. Now, work planes don't necessarily disappear when you're done using them. So if you'd like to get it out of the way, you can right click on it and hit this button where it says visibility. It still is there, it still exists. We just changed it essentially to invisible at the moment. The challenging pyramid has one feature that I am not going to be sharing with you. It is called the challenging pyramid for a reason. We have almost everything that we need. The one feature we're missing is this protrusion, this cut. So you'll have to try and figure that out for yourselves. Thanks for watching, guys.